transfer portal, you can see the flames from miles away. Just bombs going off in the transfer portal today. First off, Quinsean Judkins has entered the transfer portal. That is the number one tailback at Ole Miss. Some would say the number one tailback in the country. At the very least, he's in the conversation to be that, which I think struck some people as odd. Because if you're not paying attention to the day-to-day of this, you probably have seen Ole Miss racking up in the portal, and you would have thought, well, certainly if they're going and getting guys out of the portal, they're not going to lose guys to the portal. Well, that's where you have to get a little nuanced and get a little into the weeds here. Quinsean Judkins is a supreme talent. Quinsean Judkins knows that as well. I did some digging around Oxford, figuratively today, and I could not find anyone over there to act shocked about this. Now, I'm not shocked. We've been waiting on this. We've had this prepped for like a month. I thought he was going to be in there a month ago. So we expected this. I will say that the sentiment in Oxford is wish you well next. That's been kind of the sentiment. Now, if you hadn't followed the day-to-day here, you may think that they're tossing televisions out of windows and they're burning couches. That's not the case. They're okay with it. Judkins is okay with it. Just kind of a situation maybe where both parties needed to move on. And that's the best and most professional, sanitized way that I can summarize that. Guys, this is a new era of college football, and there are factors in play very publicly that didn't used to be in play. And so, until things change, occasionally you're going to see star players randomly move on, and you can read between the lines and know exactly why. And if someone doesn't want to play that game, someone else out there will play that game to the tune that that person wants the game played at. And I'd keep an eye on Auburn in this, is what I'm trying to tell you. Alabama departures. We've seen several of them, and this is going to be normal for them every year. It's going to be normal for all the top teams every year. There's a list a mile long on our screen right now. The ones that have stood out to me. Earl Little Jr. is a defensive back that figured to have a bigger role this year, but he's had a couple of injuries that have set him back a little bit. He's in the portal. Malik Benson, a wide receiver for them. Out of all the kids who have gone in the portal, that's the one that I've gotten feedback on the most, to the tune of, wow, I really hate that. That's the one that's kind of struck the nerve with the locals there and people inside the program. Elsewhere, this is going to be normal for the Alabamas of the world. You're going to have half a dozen to a dozen guys every year. Seth McLaughlin had the most trouble that I've ever seen at the major college football level snapping a ball the other night in the semifinal game. He's in the portal. Had a couple of other offensive linemen, a couple of defensive linemen. They have gotten word that several guys are coming back. I want to say Malachi Moore. I want to say I saw that earlier today. Deontay Lawson, the linebacker, coming back. So it's a mixed bag there. I think Arnold and Kool-Aid are going pro. So this is Georgia. This is Alabama. This is like every year for them. It's just different names any given year. Christian Story in the portal. Ja'Cory Brooks a couple of weeks ago in the portal. So keep an eye on Alabama. We were keeping an eye on Julian Fleming, and he has landed at Penn State. He is committed to Penn State. That was a former number one wide receiver in the country out of Pennsylvania. He went to Ohio State, kind of lost in the shuffle of a really deep wide receiver room there. Now, look, once upon a time, Jameson Williams left Ohio State having done not much and went to Alabama and exploded. Don't make that your expectation. It's only going to set you up for heartbreak. Don't be expecting Fleming to come in there to Happy Valley and rewrite the record books, 1,100 yards receiving this upcoming fall. Just be surprised if it does happen. Don't be mad if it doesn't happen. Having said that, that wide receiver room is badly in need of skill, and it's badly in need of maturity. You know, you saw Dante Cephas hit the door. Once upon a time, they brought him in from Kent State last year and thought he'd be one of the answers to the prayers of that room. Didn't work out that way. I don't even think he played in the Peach Bowl. So he's moved on. Maybe they're not done there, but at the very least, Lee, you got a guy in Fleming who has seen the way it's done at one of the premier programs for that position in the country. So we'll see. You got a new offensive coordinator in there as well. A lot of moving parts there offensively at Penn State right now. Within the last couple of hours, we've had big news come down. Look at that beautiful B-roll. Look at that. If you're listening on podcast, it's Iowa State versus Kansas State in a snowstorm. pretty vigorous low pressure system going to sweep across the country early next week, by the way. Some of your backyards will look like that. Anyway, Will Howard. Here's what I was getting to. Will Howard, former quarterback at Kansas State. It looked like he was going to head to USC. Then Miller Moss decided to plant his flag in the ground in the bowl game, and Will Howard said, probably not going there. I'm going to go to Ohio State. Boom, today, commits to Ohio State. So Ohio State has their guy after McCord moved on to Syracuse. You had Devin Brown there, but I think you watched the Cotton Bowl as well as I did, and you said, nope, don't like that. And so Ryan Day has gone and gotten Will Howard, 6'5", 242 pounds. He was the number 6 quarterback in the portal. I like him. I like the move for them. And this is not some place where he's going to have to go in and single-handedly resurrect the offense. You got a lot of competent, proven pieces around you. Just get first downs. That's really what they need there. Just move the ball. Get first downs occasionally. He's got 27 starts. They're going to have a really good defense there next year. So that's official as of late this afternoon, Will Howard and Ohio State. Remember Nick Scourton? He was the Purdue player, the edge player out of Purdue that I told you to watch because he had hit the portal and I think he led. Jesse, was it he led the Big Ten in sacks last year? Was that it? Okay. Well, he scheduled 4 visits, and we told you that Tuesday. A&M was the first visit. Update. There will be no more visits. Mike Elko and company have locked him down, and he is committed to Texas A&M. So if you had the other 3 visits, I'm sorry. Fight to get the first visit. Old school recruiting, you wanted the last visit. In portal season, you want the first visit, and then you want to push the other visits out the door. You want to just slam the door in their face, and that's what Mike Elko did. Hey, a lot of momentum, by the way, from that staff. Now, naturally, I grew up in West Central Georgia, so I'm a noted Aggie homer. Whatever evidence they have is whatever evidence they have, but it feels good. Some early returns, on that seismograph that they use to measure seismic activity. The pen's just kind of going like this right now in College Station. So that's not up and down, not a 7.3 magnitude quake imminent, but moving up and down.